Welcome to Buckeyes Tomorrow Morning for Tuesday, December 26th. I'm your host, Tom Orr. The Cotton Bowl game against Missouri in 3 days, the game against Michigan in 340 days. If you're watching on YouTube, you already know Tony Gerdeman and I are in a hotel room. That must mean we are on the road for the Cotton Bowl. Tony, the trip down is already going way better than the trip to the Peach Bowl did last year. Southwest Airlines successfully got me to the destination that it said on my ticket this year. That was a fun change of pace. And now we get to hit the ground running on Tuesday morning to cover the Buckeyes and the Missouri Tigers.
Yeah, Tuesday morning we'll get it started, and then 3 days of ramping up, and then fourth day of the game. So always one of the best times of the year. You know, we just get to grind, Tom. On site, grind, to worry about anything else going on in the world. All Ohio State football all the time. What could be better?
And this is a little bit of a condensed bowl week because it's not really a bowl week. It's like a bowl 3.5 days, kind of. That all starts on Tuesday morning. We're going to be watching Ohio State practice. We're going to be talking to the Ohio State defense, several of the players in the Ohio State defense. And then on Tuesday afternoon, we will be watching the Missouri practice, and then we'll be talking to some Missouri players on offense. So we'll kind of get half of the game sort of laid out on Tuesday, and then we'll be back with the opposite sides. We'll watch the Buckeyes practice again on Wednesday and talk to the Ohio State offense and then the Missouri defense. So I should have a pretty good grasp on things by the end of the day on Wednesday. I think, obviously, the first thing people are going to be interested in when we get to go see practice tomorrow morning for the Buckeyes is going to be who's practicing, who's playing. What do we know right now in terms of, right now, officially, no one has opted out.
Well, I think the newest thing that has popped up is that now we are scheduled to talk to Denzel Burke on Tuesday. We weren't previously, so now a week ago when we got the schedule, we were told by Jerry Emick, don't read into anything in terms of who's going to start or in terms of who's playing and who's talking, because we had a schedule of speakers at that point, and Denzel Burke was not on them. And then we were told at some point if somebody opts back, somebody opts in or whatever that you want to talk to, we'll get them on the stage there for you. So I don't want to say this is definite. We've been on a plane and we've been in an Uber and we're here at the hotel now. But this would seem to indicate that Denzel Burke is opting into the game, Tom.
I think that's probably true. I mean, the last indication we had, I think, from him, didn't we talk to him during interviews a couple weeks ago? I think we did.
Oh wait, yeah, we
did. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
So I don't know why he wasn't on that list. Maybe there was some waffling or
that
something.
was almost 2 weeks ago when we talked to everybody. So no, he definitely opted in. My bad. I apologize.
Yeah,
no. You want to start the show over?
No, absolutely not. The person he was replacing was Cody Simon, and Cody Simon is already said he's going to be back for 2024. So this is not that Cody Simon is opting out. So yeah, it's we'll have a better grasp on things on Tuesday morning. But the rest of as far as the rest of the team, I continue to hear that there are a number of guys who were sort of up in the air, who are serious contenders to return. We talked about a bunch of those guys on the huddle board at BuckeyeHuddle.com. But outside of Marvin Harrison, who feels like I would completely get it. Obviously he's done had quite a season and is in quite a good position to have a nice time shaking Roger Goodell's hand in April or whenever they do the draft now. Outside of him, I'm not expecting a whole lot of opt-outs. We did a show where we were sort of projecting it a couple weeks ago. I thought, oh no, certainly they'll have 5 or 6 opt-outs. I think maybe 2. I mean, it feels like you're kind of just sort of crossing guys off the list the more you hear about it.
Well, and the later we go, obviously, everybody has made it to Dallas, but we're still waiting. I think JT Tuimoloau being the second one for me, waiting on him. Travion Henderson, we saw him practicing on at least in a Ohio State Twitter photo, action shot, if you will. So he's practicing, so that's a good sign. I do recall a few years back Chris Olave practicing and then opting out of the Rose Bowl. So there's all kinds of stuff like that. You're like, well, you have to read into stuff because nobody's telling you anything at this point. Now we will talk to the offense on Wednesday, and maybe Brian Hartline will be the offensive coordinator that we talked to. Maybe he will tell us who's going to opt in. But Ryan Day hasn't wanted to tell us any of that because he wants to leave it up to the players. At some point, the players have to tell us. The thing now is that you can't assume the opt-in.
Mm-hmm.
So you need the confirmation one way or the other. And so we're waiting on that. I don't expect Marvin Harrison to play, but if he's the only one that opts out, I won't be shocked at this point.
Yeah, it feels like you might get maybe one more beyond him, but that's it. I'm very surprised at how few guys it feels like are in that position, and that's probably good news for 2024 as well. We do not need to talk about 2024 yet, but it is, this is a weird time because you get guys who are just sort of in between. Because with the last time we were down here for the Cotton Bowl, the question was, will Denzel Ward opt out? And you kept hearing, oh, no, never, no. And then he opted out. And then, you mentioned the Chris Olave thing at the Rose Bowl a couple of years ago where he's practicing and you kept hearing, yeah, he's not going to play. He's not going to play. And it was like, well, why would he be practicing if he's not going to play? And he just wanted to go out and practice with his teammates a little longer. It's like, okay, all right, I guess that's okay. So, yeah, we will be at practice on Tuesday morning.
How much time there?
I believe 15 minutes. And then we have a nice long window of time between the practice viewing window and the interview window to turn a lot of photos and videos and that kind of stuff. We'll also probably, I'm going to guess, we can do an editorial meeting on air. I'm going to guess we'll do some kind of a live something or other from the stadium on Tuesday.
Kevin has been outvoted 2-1.
Yeah,
so.
That's fine. Yeah, well, it's that's. I think it was 2-0. That was. I think that's. Not sure his vote counts, but yeah, we will have. We'll have full coverage of Ohio State's practice and interviews on Tuesday morning, and then Missouri's practice and interviews on Tuesday afternoon. What is like the one thing other than who's practicing and who's not practicing? What is the one thing you're most interested in seeing during the Ohio State practice, and what is the one thing you're most interested in seeing during the Missouri practice?
Boy, obviously the key is who's out there, but everybody's, we can't judge that anymore because of the whole Olave thing. I think we'll all probably be watching a little bit of Devin Brown just to see how he is acting and how his teammates are acting around him. Hopefully we get to see more than just stretching and get to see some of the any kind of action out there. I don't know how much quarterback play we'll get to see. It's probably going to be some individual drills and things like that. But it is always interesting just to watch how players are carrying themselves. And this is a new starter now, new leader for Ohio State. So I'll be watching him. Missouri, they've got some injuries coming into this game, but these are injuries that they've had before this game, so they're accustomed to that. And in terms of what I'll be watching for them, will we be surprised by anything like when we got to watch Georgia do yoga?
Yeah, well, the Kirby Smart last year did a fantastic job trolling the media. He did two things. We got to watch 2 days of Georgia practice, and the first day they did like this station-to-station, extremely high-intensity thing, and we were thinking, wow, this is crazy. This is totally different than any Ohio State football practice we've ever seen. And then the Georgia beat writer's like, yeah, it's totally different than any Georgia practice, too. This was a completely new, different thing. And then the second day, we got to watch the last 15 minutes of practice where they were doing yoga and doing like their cool down period. And when we were on the bus on the way to the stadium, we kind of looked around and there were not most of the Georgia people there. And it was like, what do we not know? And then we got to the stadium and we found out. So you never know, Tony.
Yeah.
Bowl practices, they're like a box of chocolates.
I did like the one at the Rose Bowl, the one you were, it would have been 2018, where Nick Bosa was out that season, but he showed up to see everybody and showed up to practice and hugged a bunch of people. And you never know who's going to show up. And sometimes it's your teammates.
And sometimes it's true freshmen who are going to be enrolling in January as well. Like we saw Jelani Thurman at the Peach Bowl practice last year. I think we might have been Malik Hartford. There was someone else that we saw at Peach Bowl practice last year. So we'll probably see some true freshmen as well, some incoming true freshmen. So we don't know what we're going to see, but whatever we see, we will let you know all about it on the Buckeye Weekly podcast. We'll do a live stream at youtube.com/Buckeye Huddle. And of course, on the Huddle board at BuckeyeHuddle.com, We'll have lots of everything we see, everything we know. We will let you know there. Should be news coming on opt-outs, opt-ins, the new quarterback situation for the Buckeyes, the plan for Missouri, all that kind of stuff coming this week as we count down to the Cotton Bowl game, now just 3 days away. Seems impossible that we just got here and already the game is just 3 days away, but here we are. So we are going to cram 10 pounds of content into a 5-pound bag over the next few days. So make sure you're checking us out there at BuckeyeHuddle.com and YouTube.com/Buckeye Huddle. That will do it for today. Thank you guys all for joining us. Have a great day. We will talk to you tomorrow.